Welcome to your weekly program, BelAhdan, a show is an accent for those without one. Last week, I was taking a stroll in my neighborhood, and lo and behold, and I saw this sign, a lawn sign, blue, big, in the Minnetonka area. We usually don't see the signs in that area, but and the sign was saying, blessed Ramadan to all our Muslims neighborhood and all of that. And it was very interesting. The first time I see lawn sign, usually this is election year and you see sign for people you don't want to meet. But this sign was very welcoming. And then I looked into it, and here is the sign, by the way. To our Muslim neighbors, blessed Ramadan, and then you can go to their website and actually you can get the sign and you can put it in lawn no matter who you are. And it's a very nice gesture. This is the first time a group of churches was sponsoring this, and I dug into further and I found out there's actually somebody heading that program, and she is our guest today, Gail Anderson. She's the founder of Empathic Works, and she is with us today. Thank you so much for coming, Gail. This is very nice, and I know you've been involved in so many things, and I know you were involved with interfaith, you were involved with the church councils and all of that. So this is nothing new for you. Probably you've been trying to do this and manage something that kind of reach out on a very kind of, not structure thing, that people getting involved instead of the institution, the church itself. So it was very nice that a neighbor,
Yes.
tell us a little bit, how did this program, genesis of it?
Well, it's a program of the Minnesota Council of Churches. It started when the CEO of the council, Peg Chamberlain, was sitting in conversation with Keith Ellison, and they're concerned about the rhetoric, the political rhetoric right now, and anti-Muslim. And they, in the conversation, came up with the phrase, well, it would be nice if people could do a sign of goodwill. How could we have a sign of goodwill? And then they realized they'd said it, a sign.
I see.
And in an election season, as you said, there's lawn signs. Yeah. So the idea was born to do these Blessed Ramadan signs and distribute them to whoever wanted them. At the beginning, many churches got 100 signs and put them out on their lawn, and their congregants took them.
The end of it.
Congregants took them home and put them in their lawns, and now more and more people like you are seeing them and wondering what's up. And so I just got brought on 2 days ago to help organize it because it got much bigger than they ever imagined. And it's in New York and Colorado and Ohio and Rhode Island, and several other states have found out about this, and their councils of churches are running the same thing and distributing this.
It was going to be done on a very small scale.
Yeah.
Probably churches will put all sorts of signs, and you just drive by and that's it.
Right.
But this all of a sudden is spread to the community. So what's beyond that, behind that success?
I really believe that there are a lot of people who are disturbed by the kind of rhetoric that they're hearing and the anti-Islamophobia, and have nothing, they don't know what to do. They don't know how to fix it. And this is a real simple thing that you put out in your yard, Blessed Ramadan to my Muslim neighbors, and you're making a statement to all your other neighbors that, saying Muslims can't be allowed in the country is sort of like that. They don't believe that.
And it's also is a timely too, not just in Ramadan, happen to be now, but a timely election year, and you see a lot of, actually sign will say ban Islam, Muslim, ban halal. I don't know what ban halal means. It's halal is coming. It's not a person. How you ban halal? And you actually see those signs, were spreading in certain area. Now, you see a sign, as you say, of goodwill.
Sign of goodwill, right.
And it's interesting also, it started in Minneapolis, in Minnesota.
Yep.
And there's something about this place that and we have the biggest Muslim community, Somali community.
Somali, yes.
So, and you said, when a sign of goodwill, and people don't know what to do.
Right.
You've seen all this. But also your work, your new project, actually that's what you do, kind of showing people what to do. And then tell us a little bit about the Empathic Works.
Well, Empathic Works is brand new. I'm just getting it off the ground. And it's designed to really help people, mainstream people whose families have been here forever, understand the context, which is changing, so that they can more effectively be part of this community. And we can do that through just education, coming in and doing a presentation about the people who are here. We can take people out. I love taking people to the Carmel Mall, which is Somali, and giving them sambusa and Somali tea and letting them experience that. We can also do structured conversations. We actually bring people together and have conversations so they can get to know each other better. And it's a softening, you know. It doesn't solve the problem, but if you don't know somebody else, you don't know what to think about them. Once you get to know people, it just softens everything, and then the hateful stuff can't take root to the same way.
So this is, this program and your work and what you've done before of Interfaith and Council Churches. Is this a religious belief or personal belief?
Well, I think there are things in the religion. I think it's scientific. There's neuroscience behind it.
Okay.
We are wired to be cautious around things that are unfamiliar. It's a pretty smart thing that we've
genetically
evolved.
You want to survive. I see.
It's a survival mechanism. And we see that difference as a threat. And when we see a threat, we fight or flight, we're wired that way. And we need to create safe spaces and education and make that difference not so threatening, not a threat, to calm people down, to really get to know each other. And we are living in a culture where we've got people who are doing just the opposite. We got people who are whipping up the fear for their own gain, their own power, their own whatever. So it's a lot of work to do that. But in the end, I believe in the goodwill of people. And I think if
that's what I was getting at.
You give most people the chance to...
Most people are good. Most people, they want to do good, That's that kind of politics, and that's what create fears. Let me, just an interesting vision that you have here for your server company. Increase social cohesion created by building networks of relationship, increasing trust, cooperation, fostering a sense of belonging, shared identity and equity. Shared identity, and let's say we are Americans, and we live in a multi-pluralistic society, and what this identity would be.
There's an interesting study done by Robert Putnam. He got famous for writing Bowling Alone. But he did a study, and some of it was done in Minnesota and other places. And they found that the more diverse a community becomes, all the measures of what he calls social capital, the word he uses, go down. People trust each other less. People volunteer less. People vote less. They what he uses is hunker. They hunker down. And what they found are, if you take people and you create some sort of shared identity for them, all those measures will go up. In the long run, it happens anyway. But in the short run, we have a lot of mess. And why do that? And the one example you use is, you bring disparate people in their in the army, and you work with them, and pretty soon their identity is not that they're white or black or whatever. Their identity is that they're part of that company. And then that cohesion happens. So American is big, but you could be, if you work at a company and you've got, there are companies who have a large immigrant population who are doing their manufacturing part of their job or something.
Whatever.
Bring them together, and now they're that company, and then that social cohesion. Neighborhoods can do it. There's just a lot of places where you can say, parents at the school. Your school is very diverse. You don't know the parents of the Somali kids or the Hmong kids or the Hispanic kids. How do you bring that together? And now you're that school. You're proud of that, and your differences go down if you have some shared identity with each other.
And also, when you look at the irrationality of Islamophobia in this country, most people who have that fear of a Muslim and Islam, they never met a Muslim.
Right.
They never, talked to a Muslim. And a lot of people who are supporting somebody Islamophobe like Donald Trump, they have some fear.
Yes.
Of, as you alluded to here, changes, technology, people come in, different people. And so once the people get to know each other, I mean, in the study that you were talking about, that's a strength, not a weakness.
Yes, exactly.
When you have people who have different
Right.
ideas, different identity, and isn't that what America is all about?
Well, so I've done a lot of my work. I have a master's in theology, and I've done a lot of my work through churches. But probably 5-6 years ago, I realized that what my work is building a civil society.
Yeah.
We have differences in lots of ways.
Yeah.
I have brought people together across religious differences. And we have to do this because we're a democracy. And as a democracy, we're given the task of governing ourselves. You know, somebody else is not taking care of it. We govern ourselves. We can't govern ourselves if we don't know each other.
Mm-hmm.
All we can do if we don't know each other is advocate for our own position. And that's what we see now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm not voting for you unless you agree with this, and everybody in their own little groups, and we don't have that social cohesion. If we get to know each other, and I understand why you feel on a certain position, and you understand why I feel, and maybe you don't win, I don't win, but maybe we find a way that we can both work together.
Mm-hmm.
It happens on a very grassroots level. It goes up the line, but a friend of mine told me one time that people running for office, they don't want to govern, they want to rule, and that's not what we don't elect rulers.
That's
we elect a government. We are the government.
As the dictators.
Yeah, right.
General Sisi Maywana. But the grassroots basis of these programs, and you offer training to companies that usually have diversity in their workforce. And
diverse in their workforce, or diverse in their market, or
yeah, I see. Yeah, you're right.
So there's a clinic I heard about there in St. Paul, and this was several years ago, but suddenly Karen people from Burma started moving into that neighborhood. Suddenly they are a clinic that used to serve a different population, and all these people are coming from Burma. They know nothing about Burma. Why are they here? Who are they? That's where I see I could go in and we could, find the leaders in the community, get people together, understand how they can better serve their clients. The clients feel more comfortable going there. I mean, there's not a non-profit motive in this, but it still, makes people work better together.
You have no problem with people not altruistic motive.
No.
You don't have. You want to make money off this, that's fine with you.
Right, sure.
And the value of caring about other people that they don't look like you or think you. And I understand business try to capitalize on this, like Starbucks, like Race Together.
Right.
And so how's it different than somebody like an executive or company is trying to say, let's take advantage of this. And once their campaign or market campaign is over, they just go back to their old habits.
I mean, I don't think there's anything I could do to prevent that, but I don't believe that's how it would happen.
How it's going to work.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that if you're really doing the work, not figuring out what do they want so we can sell them, I'm not interested in doing that.
Yeah.
I'm interested in let's better understand each other, and you will be more successful.
So it'd be byproduct that you benefit from it financially, whatever.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean that may be where they start. That we want to do this, benefit financially, but they're going to benefit in other ways. I mean, if they're really going to sit down and bring leaders of a different immigrant community in and really listen to them, it might be for better profit for them, but they're also going to now understand their neighbors better. They're going to be less likely to believe some nonsense that somebody's trying to do.
Waste their resources on it.
Yeah, they're just going to say, well, no, I know these people, and I met this guy, and he's a great guy, and no, I'm not going to be in favor of something that's going to hurt him, because they now know each other.
So, people, how do you find the business community, reaction to this? I mean, they are.
Well, it's brand new, but I am finding, people are like, oh, we need to do this. Somebody said, you need to come speak to the Rotary Club. So, again, I think it's something where people don't know where to start, don't know how to go about it.
Usually that's the case too.
Yeah, that they're,
Well, you've been doing, that kind of work for a long, long time. Tell a little bit about your background. What drives this in your character and your belief system.
I grew up in central Wisconsin in an all-white town. We had some Jewish friends. That was about it. It was not only all white, it was all like Catholic and Lutheran. Presbyterians were odd, I mean. So no, it didn't come from that. little bit of the training of my parents, who, when my dad was in the Army in Oklahoma, my mom saw drinking fountains that said colored water. And she went up and said, "There's something wrong with your drinking fountain." I turned it on. It's clear water. It's not colored.
Oh,
I mean, she knew what she was doing, but
wow,
it's just like she just point out how absurd this is, that there's something called colored water, and it's clear.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was kind of. But they weren't activists about it or anything.
But the value of the family also shape you,
Sure.
without even knowing
Sure.
that. How far are you going to go with this?
Well, as I told you, I've been on the job 3 days as they're a client of mine. We're working right now to capture the contact information for all these people that have these signs, right? So that we can figure out, where it goes from here. So you have people that want to make a sign of goodwill. What can happen after that? One idea I've had before I came on here, but Peg and I talked about the other day, I would like to create toolkits for people so they know how to counter Islamophobia. They hear this stuff, they think, I don't think that's right.
So what's in the toolbox?
Well, there's the greatest hits. Muslims can lie to protect themselves, right? Yeah. And they're like, there's just all this stuff that I get it in my emails. I get people that are saying, they think that I'm being fooled by whatever. Yeah, but I think for the most part,
naive
people just don't, they think I'm naive. Mm. They just don't know what to do, how to react. And I think a lot of people of goodwill are paralyzed by, they're afraid that they're going to do something wrong, that they're going to offend, that they're going to say the wrong thing, so they just don't do anything. Mm-hmm. Let's just let them know, here's some things you can do.
Yeah. I mean, we're not telling people you have to like Islam or Muslim.
Oh, no.
Just, you just don't hear them without knowing, and
right.
then start neutral. What I like about this program, now it's developing and you see it. Now I see that actually the Muslim community paying attention to the signage. Mm-hmm. And now they go into these places where the signs are and put on flower and leaving the message of their own.
Yes.
And that's just it's brilliant. That's exactly.
So 2 stories I heard. There was a neighbor, person that put the sign out, and their neighbors, and I think it was a father and daughter, although I'm not positive, brought flowers over and said, thank you for doing that. The church, Plymouth Church, which is on Nicollet and Franklin, had the signs out. And of course, right across there is the Starbucks. That's a hangout for Somali men. And a man went into the church and said, I just want to thank you for putting those signs out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's very simple things.
Very simple, but here's a Somali man walking into a Christian church. He doesn't know anybody there, but he's been invited. The sign said it's okay. You can come in and talk to us. So I don't know how many of those kinds of connections are being made.
I'm sure. And we spend a lot of energy and resources trying to do a simple thing that what the signage have done. I mean, it should be. I mean, it doesn't have to be a huge project or a huge undertaking to bring people together. You see it in so many different ways. Like when I go to a sporting event and I'm cheering for the Twins or soccer or whatever.
Too bad about you cheering for the Twins, but okay.
Whatever, I know. But what I'm saying, and you see somebody, just talking to you, and he's not asking where are you from and what is this. I mean, he's just, as you say, that's another forming of a different identity.
Yeah.
We are a fan,
Twins fans,
fan.
right?
And I think a simple idea like this signage, it has all the elements of a success story.
It's been a success story. It's too much. That's why they said you need to come help us because we've got to get these signs out. Ramadan's short; it's going to end. We can't take 6 months to get the signs out. So
it's a long hours of fasting, but a short month.
Right.
So if people wanna help out, what do? They go on website or send you or what?
To get a sign or to
help out in the program. You said you need help in.
Well, I think the website, mnchurches.org or blessedramadan.org, it goes to the same place. There's an icon there. You click on it. You can donate money to the program. If you don't have a place to put a sign, you can order a sign. It helps if you can get to the church center and pick them up because the backlog of getting them out. But and the question is there enough money to print more signs and stuff? So yeah,
Well, I mean,
if you want to support this financially, go ahead, because then more signs can get printed and more signs can
And I
get
think
out.
people can make their own signs. I mean, they don't
But they
have to
can't. Well, thanks for reminding me. The artwork is all on the
Yeah,
website.
I see.
So you can go and you can download that exact artwork. You can put it in your window. You
And
can
you-
put it
and
on
you
the
add
door
your
of your office. You can put it wherever.
Add a few things, your own, personalize it, and I think it's a great idea. Blessed Ramadan, and blessed to anybody. I mean, and I think what a blessed country and blessed people, and it's not just Ramadan. Ramadan is going to be over in 3 weeks, but I hope that's not the end of this program. But it's a great start, and you've been champion of goodwill. I think we thank you so much for coming and talk about it, and good luck with your new adventure.
Well,
Empathy
thank you.
works, and when you say works, that means you're telling it really works.
Empathy works, yes.
Yeah, that's what.
If people understand each
Yeah.
other, empathy does work, yes.
And a lot of people don't know this. That doesn't work, but it works. Well, thank you so much, Gail Anderson, the founder of Empathy Works, and she's now she's taken or handling the signage of Blessed Ramadan that's now popping all over the Twin City, all over the nation, matter of fact.
Yep.
And we wish you well, and we'll see you next week. Salaam alaikum, and Ramadan Kareem, everybody, and blessed Ramadan for everybody. See you next week. Salaam alaikum, and God bless you all.